Pleased to be joined now for a Silverbacks quarantine interview by the coaching staff, who, of course, are joining us from the comfort of their own homes in preparation where they're quarantining for the start of the 2020-21 BCHL season. Please welcome head coach Tyler Shattock and, of course, assistant coach Carter Cochrane. Guys, how's it going?
Doing good, Cantor.
Yeah, doing really well. Excited to get going here.
Awesome. Okay, so let's start with the excitement of quarantine. Just quickly, we'll start with you, Tyler. How are you kind of keeping busy?
Yeah, we got a lot of different things going on with our team, whether it's trivia, games, video, workouts. So that mixed with a lot of housework that I'm less than excited about, but that's how I'm keeping busy here.
And you, Carts?
Yeah, I'm definitely the more fortunate one. Not a lot of housework going on over here, but yeah, like Tyler said, it hasn't been much of a vacation, that's for sure. We're still staying fairly busy throughout the day and trying to fill up our days and the players' days as much as possible so we can get this done as soon as possible.
So let's go back then, though, to when you guys first heard the news that officially a season was going to happen. So last week, Tyler, let's start with you. Just want to know what first went through your mind.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I think it's the excitement for the players. They've done a really good job this year of staying focused. I go back to thinking if I was a teenager and going through this, it would be pretty tough. Some guys need scholarships. Some guys need to be seen by the NHL. So it's been a trying period for the players. So just a lot of excitement for those guys that they get to have some eyes on them here and instead of watching everybody else play and not us.
Carts, what were you thinking at the time?
Yeah, kind of the same thing there. Like, I mean, it's one of those situations where it just seemed like it kept getting pushed back farther and farther. And you got to give credit to our guys. They were able to stay positive and stay prepared for it. And, it was, I think there was a few guys in the room who, when they first heard it, they kind of missed the other 10 points we talked about because they were so excited about just being able to be back playing. So I think we might have gotten a little bit of that too as coaches. So we just can't wait to get back out there and be able to compete again.
So, yeah, as everyone knows, I mean, these guys have been together for a long time. They've been skating, of course, working out, going over video, like lots of stuff. They've been working hard this whole time, and the whole time they haven't been able to play. So, Tyler, we'll just go to you. Can you explain why is it, to people who might not know, why is it so important for these guys to be able to play actual regular season competitive games?
Yeah, the importance is the exposure. These guys, the hard part with the COVID thing is that the timeline doesn't stop for our guys, and the hockey world isn't giving these guys extra years. They're kind of just getting a year taken away from them. So for 20-year-old guys that are finishing their junior career, for guys that need scholarships, practice is great, but practice is kind of one of those things that you get to do in preparation to kind of I guess, showcase yourself in a game. And that's what we haven't been able to do this year. And as much as colleges and NHL teams love watching guys in practice, at the end of the day, they make all their evaluations in a game. And I think that's the most important thing, getting to play these games for our guys, is that they're going to get that exposure to the next level, which all these guys want to do.
Yeah, Carter, anything to add?
I think, and it's also just, I think the exposure and the opportunity is a big thing, but these guys have been doing this their whole lives, and like they're almost trained to compete. And when you put them in an environment like this and you don't give them that outlet to go out and play against other teams, it's made for some pretty intense practices at times. It's made for some really good battles, but like this is what these guys have trained their whole lives to do, and that's what they're accustomed to doing. And to take that away from them and for them not to be able to do it for this long of a time, I think it's going to be really exciting when they do get that chance again.
We'll go back to you, Tyler, for this one. Just from a coaching perspective, maybe having all of this time, I just want to know, has it helped a little bit, like systems-wise and stuff, or has it just kind of been frustrating that you haven't been able to play?
From a systems department, it's been tough because you're trying to create an environment that these guys don't get bored or sick of. So if I was just hammering details and systems for the last 6 months, I think we would have lost a lot of our players. So it's been a combination of player development, some fun, Some system stuff. We've really kind of hammered home the systems the last kind of 3 weeks here when we got the feel that we might be getting the good answer here. But definitely a lot of skill development, some player development, and then obviously some physical development off the ice as well. So I wouldn't say that it's been a huge preparation system-wise, because that can wear a player out and wear a team out. So we've had to try to find that combination of all the different assets and help work on these guys and work on their game as much as we can in all departments.
Yeah, Carter, anything to add systems-wise?
Yeah, I would touch more on the player development standpoint. So, I think it's tough for like us as coaches. Our job hasn't changed a whole lot this year. Obviously, we aren't the ones who strap on the skates and go out and play in the games anyways. So our ability to be able to work with these guys one-on-one, to be able to spend individual time with them on areas that they need to improve on, is something that we don't get the luxury of during a normal season. So for us as coaches, it's been a really unique opportunity for us to spend some one-on-one time with guys and be a big factor into their development. And these guys are doing it 12 months of the year now. So, they do a lot of that in the off season, but for us to be able to kind of put our hands on it and be the ones to factor into it, it's been a huge help for us. And, hopefully the guys have gotten a lot better over these months, but you can tell that they're itching to play.
Now, expectations is always kind of a tough question, because obviously you guys want to do as well as you can, but this is obviously a different season. So you guys are only going to be playing a couple teams. It's going to be a lot of games in a short amount of time. Are the expectations different here? Like, what are you guys hoping to achieve and see from your group during this shortened season? Tyler, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I don't think the expectations have so much changed. Obviously, the expectation of winning a BCHL championship changes a little bit, because we don't know if we're going to be afforded the opportunity to have a playoff or anything like that. And then we are only playing 2 different teams. So, the expectation is always to win as many games as you can. That's what we owe our 20-year-old guys. That's what we owe our guys going on to college next year and not getting to come back. But I'm really looking forward to giving our 20-year-olds and our non-returning guys a good experience, which obviously involves winning and playing hard and all that kind of stuff. But I think the most important thing here is getting those guys the exposure, winning some hockey games, and making sure that they have a good 20-game experience here on their way out the door.
Yeah, Carter, anything to add on expectations?
Yeah, I love Tyler's last point about making sure that guys have a good experience. I think one thing that's happened over this time is guys have kind of found refound their love for the game, or like really understood what it's like when the game's kind of taken away from you. You aren't able to play it. And I think, in junior hockey, there can be so much pressure on these kids to get those scholarships or NHL scouts watching and, try to further their careers. And I'm just excited for guys to be able to get back on the ice and enjoy doing what they love. And, hopefully that it's an opportunity for guys to have a lot of fun and kind of take a little bit of the pressure away. But our expectation is always to win, as Tyler said, and we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that happens.
Lastly here, not only obviously have you guys been preparing for eventually when a season would get approved, but you're also building for the future at the same time. So I just want to know how much of this season might be a bit of an evaluation moving forward for years to come. Tyler, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's a huge thing for our guys. So, we got some young guys coming in, and Aiden Lindblad is obviously a local Salmon Arm kid, and it's going to be a good opportunity for some guys to get the feel of what the Junior A experience is and how the game's played. We got guys coming from Ontario. We have Julian Racine, hasn't played a BCHL game yet. So it's going to be a good chance for them to establish themselves and show me and Karts and Brooks that they belong on the team next year. They belong in a certain spot. They want ice time. So it's definitely an evaluation period. I think it always is in this game. I don't think there's a lot of times that you're not evaluated. So for our younger guys and guys coming back, it's definitely a chance to show how much you've improved throughout the year and show that you want or deserve different role or something next year. But it's definitely a good evaluation period for everybody that's returning.
Yeah, so Carter, on evaluation, and also maybe I can just add also the future in general. Maybe you can also shed some light on just the future of this program and why it's maybe bright.
Yeah, I think like to Tyler's point there, it's exciting. We saw last year with Drew Bennett, Simon Tassi, Hunter Stansbury, like what they started to look like in the second half of our seasons and into the playoffs. So it's really exciting to see what some of that growth looks like from our current players. And obviously with the pause since November, we've had a lot of time to get out and be on the recruiting trail, and we're pretty excited about some of the progress we've made in that department. And I think the excitement for the future though just starts with the guys we have with us right now. We have a really good group of guys that could potentially return next year, and our leadership group's done an outstanding job of kind of showing our guys the way through tough times and adversity. And I think we've grown stronger as a group throughout this process. And I think when you look at the potential for guys who can come back next year, and some of even our youngest guys, Tyler mentioned Aiden Lindblad, but Noah Serdachny, Matt Bourgeot, Liam Vanderkoy, like those are all guys that we've seen that progress from them all throughout the year, and they're our youngest players. And I think they're an exciting group to be building around moving forward. And those are guys with 3 years of junior eligibility left after this year, and if there's a chance that they can be in Salmon Arm for the majority of those years, it's an exciting group to be a part of. And I think there's a lot of excitement around our organization in terms of what could be coming here in the future.
Perfect, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm sure we'll be in touch in the coming weeks.
Thanks, Cantor.
Thank you.